44 voted against the motion, and we had one abstention.
And what does that mean? 2 days. The next 2 days, the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula will write to the upper house, that's the Senate, and that is one story that we will be tracking for you. Good evening from wherever you're watching us. My name is Mboya.
I am Muchuma Odem.
Here is a look at our lead stories. In the interest of time, let's do this one differently without the highlights. What are our socials tonight?
Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, YouTube and Facebook. Our sign language expert tonight is Susan Thuku.
Straight to our lead story now. Rigathi Gachagua is a man that surprised many when President William Ruto decided to choose him as a running mate.
A 59-year-old who rose through the ranks to become the second in command has never looked back.
Now, from a district officer, famously known as a DO or district officer, to a personal assistant, to the then President Uhuru Kenyatta, his star has been on the rise, just serving a single term in Parliament before being appointed Deputy President.
His light, however, seems to be dimming as legislators brace to cut his term through an impeachment motion.
And a little while ago, that happened. 281 parliamentarians voting yes for the motion to impeach him, 44 voting against that impeachment motion. Of course, there was one abstention. Let's listen in to that report.
Having served as a district officer for 4 years, both in Laikipia, Molo, and Kakamega counties, Gachagua's entry into politics has been like a shooting star. His feat nurtured when he served as the personal assistant to the then local government minister Uhuru Kenyatta, something that propelled him to the political scene. Rigathi was so pivotal during the reign of his brother Kericho Gachagua, who was the first governor of Nyeri County and was said to manage the affairs of the county, when Kericho fell into health problems shortly after the elections, leaving him as an official of the affairs of the county. In 2017, Gachagua took a stab in politics,
Sisi watu ya Mlima Kenya,
contesting the Mathira parliamentary seat which he won. In 2002, Gachagua teamed up with the current President William Ruto, running a successful campaign.
Excellency, the Deputy President-elect of the Republic of Kenya.
According to the political analyst Oscar Omondi, President Ruto did find Gachagua the most suitable to sell his hustler narrative, having been a district officer where he interacted with the local people at the grassroots.
She didn't suit to be a running mate at that particular time when they needed a local face, mtu wa pale chini. And Gachagua, to me, fit so well into that position. Unfortunately, from whatever I was discussing of Gachagua being a DO, he never transformed to have something called a political communicative language. That means that whatever he communicates, and he is seen as this person who becomes an irritant because of how he pushes his agenda. When he says about the shareholder and what have you, he pushes our agenda as he sees it, because he's also an outsider in politics.
Omondi says Gachagua, who is currently walking on a tightrope politically, is a man who also won President Ruto's heart due to his authoritative way of handling matters borrowed from his past experience.
na mimi nikamwambia naibu wa rais, hiyo kazi umeniita tufanye, mimi niko tayari, kwa sababu mimi ni mtoto wa Maumau. Wewe kitendawili ukuwe tayari, tutaonana na wewe mondo kwa mondo.
You know, the ideas behind Bwana Chifu, they implement policies of government. At that level, you don't use coercion or winning hearts and minds as what the political elites do. So I think that Gachagua, having come from that other school of thought, when he transformed into politics, he maintained that way of making decisions or leadership style. And that is why he's come out to be a very abrasive, outspoken, and forcing issues in the political system. I think that is my discussion or analysis of the person in Gachagua.
Gachagua's way of facing his or her accusers in his political career is another thing that stood out, working to his advantage.
Atuwe kwa sababu ni rafiki ya rais atukuwe bosi yangu. Even some people wanamsaidia kazi, mapie yake, wanataka tukuniamurisha mimi vile nitafanya kazi.
You know, in politics sometimes you will ask your think tanks and advisors. I don't think if he has serious think tanks, who will tell him, discuss with him the impact and the political ramification of such a move. So he goes full throat.
Political and security expert Chris Otieno says his audacity to speak about serious and sensitive matters without fearing condemnation has portrayed him as a brave politician, attracting wrath and love in equal measure. From the onset during his inaugural speech in Kasarani, the embattled DP did not mince his words, speaking his mind anywhere, anytime, regardless of who is there, earning himself a name, the truthful man.
I must tell these people the truth. From now, you don't have to talk with each other through the WhatsApp for fear of being recorded and persecuted by state agencies.
From Deputy President Gachagua's speech during the inauguration, it was a speech loaded with a lot of emotions. He didn't graduate to become a guardian. A guardian makes decisions and talks based on logical reasoning and rationale. You talk there and knowing that these things that you talk about impacts on very many people because of the office you're holding.
However, analysts say being the first impeachment motion in the level of deputy president, Kenya has indeed come of age in ensuring democratic processes are embraced, in checking the excesses of leaders in a move they say will ensure leaders are accountable for their actions.
I beg the people of Kenya not to measure me with the performance of William Ruto because you might get disappointed. I'll try. I may go up to 60 or 70%, but feeling the shoes of this man is no small feat.
This is a very good political system. When an impeachment happens at the level of the presidency, where it doesn't touch on the president, I mean, in the next 20 years, we should get one day to impeach the president himself so that we cultivate our system, because other systems, you know, South Africa impeached Jacob Zuma, and even Ramaphosa is not sitting pretty, and this is the African community. I think we've not had impeachment in a normal, we've had coups, military coups in Africa to remove president or elections. But impeachment has not been used as a political process. In America, it has been used and other places. Places like Britain, for example, I think for the last 2 years, they've had almost six prime ministers, because that system is working. If somebody does not deliver on their promises, it is easy to remove. We should not have a system where anybody whom we put into office is so difficult, it's like cast on stone to remove from office.
Timothy Kipnosu for Prime Edition.
Of course, that was the backstory on the deputy president. A little earlier on, the president, after Parliament voted, stood impeached. And what were the numbers like, by the way? 281
members of Parliament voted to oust the DP. 44 voted against the motion, and we had one abstention. This means that the two-third threshold was met, and that means the DP stands impeached by the National Assembly.
Of course, there are 2 days that the National Assembly has to write to the upper house, the Senate, and so we'll be tracking that story for you. But let's cross over to
Parliament buildings, and we have able team on the ground. Tilio Marco is on standby. Tilio, good evening.
This is Wamaua, Member of Parliament, Maragua constituency. Today I had come to make sure that I give my vote in support of our Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and I want to say this process was hurriedly done. And the light from the way the public participation was conducted, we could lead some mischief into the way it was hurried. It was not effective, and really it did not even explain to the people, the citizen, and the people who elect us to whatever was expected. And you can remember, our people were voting without even hearing the other side of the accused, that is the Deputy President. Today, we started right in the morning to condemn the Deputy President, even without hearing whatever he had. Because we are supposed, first of all, to hear whoever has the motion, the mover, and we also hear the accused, so that we are able to read or to debate from a point of knowledge. But you could see we were doing it as if already we had taken a possession. Again, you could see how the house was full. Not many times apart from when we are being sworn in that you'll ever find the house full like that. Other times when we are calling out our mandate, you'll never see the house full, so that we can speak as a representative of the people to make sure the policies, the bills, and any motion that comes, we discuss it and we debate from the point of view as far as our people are concerned. The other thing is that we had another impeachment of the fake fertilizer. You remember, this is something that had been witnessed by everyone, including our people that we represent, who had even gone ahead to pay money that was never compensated to them. And you could see, because government had some interest in it, at long last it came in and the process was saved. But for this one, because there is somebody who is determined somewhere that Gachagua has to go home, even without authentication and the substantiation of the allegations that were alleged to him, we are condemning him and calling for his impeachment. I want to say, we the people of the mountain voted because we really needed to support the Kenya Kwanza government and our president that we love, William Samoei Ruto. But to the people of the mountain, we are a bit disappointed that our man had to be chased the way he has been chased, while he presented his side of the story with the documentation, but no one who is interested into looking on who is speaking the truth. Because many of the allegation, in fact all the allegation, there is none that he confessed, not to have documentation that can study for him to authenticate that whatever was contained in the allegation, that was not really the issue. But anyway, he has another process in the Senate and he has another process in the court, whereby for our judges whom I know are very honest, they will look at the argument, the presentation of the document, vis-a-vis whatever will be produced by Mutuse, who was really moving the motion. But anyway, today is a sad day for the people of the mountain. But let's hope for the best, kwa sababu Mungu bado ako. And you remember, there are so many important areas that our people are crying for about. But there's no one who is looking into that. Look at the Adani deal. Look at the health issues. Look at the eviction and the demolition that Gachagua was speaking about. If you look into that, including the brutality, there's no one who is speaking to that. And there's no one who is even moving ahead to impeach even those, including the fake fertilizer that I've talked about. So you can see this was a calculated move. But nevertheless, our God is still watching.
Okay, one more question. One more question, Muchuma. When asked about attacking NIS, the Deputy President said he learned it from a boss. What does that mean?
Let me say there's no one who is above the law. And all of us, as per Article 4, Bill of Light, there's freedom of expression. And you can also question, because it is our part to make sure we oversight, including our president and our deputy. They cannot see a mistake and they keep quiet about it. There's no one who is above the law. So if you say this is not working, this is not long, you did not inform us properly, we would have prepared ourselves for the sake of our people, their lives, their businesses. There's nothing wrong with that. Who is above the law? You cannot be impeached because you have talked the truth and you have said Wamaua is not working or the other person is not working. Who has never been told? Yeah.
Hitch, they would have loved to hear more, of course. Those reactions coming live from Parliament precincts following that impeachment on the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. The numbers stood at 281 who voted yes and
44 voted against the motion, and we had one abstention.
Okay, of course, we said that that's a story we're going to be following for you. Remember, 2 processes yet to go, one in the upper house, and of course there was also a matter that is active in the courts of law, so we're tracking all those angles and stories for you.
In other developments tonight, Kawia Mwangaza is set to know her fate as the governor of Meru County on Tuesday next week, with Justice Bahati Mwamuye set to make a ruling on whether she will continue in office pending the outcome of her appeal case challenging her impeachment by the county assembly and subsequently approved by the Senate.
That's right, and in the case, Mwangaza is challenging her ouster, and she's citing some legal violations, even as the Senate has filed an application seeking to have the orders to have her continue in office removed. Judge Namuye will be giving directions on the 15th of October after Kawia's defense and all the parties have issued oral submissions.
The Center for Rights Education and Awareness found that the speakers of the National Assembly and the Senate were proper parties in a suit where a person was challenging the constitutionality.
It's only fair, my lord, that this court is given an opportunity to interrogate what transpired at the Senate and whether the same could have afforded the petitioner a fair hearing. The only way to do that, my lord, is to issue conservatory orders before a determination is made.
Your Lordship, the application by the petitioner was filed after the petitioner, Her Excellency Governor Kawia Mwangaza, underwent an impeachment process that she contends was marred with unconstitutionality.
Item tonight is that the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, has been impeached, and we know that there are 2 processes that are yet to go. The one of the upper house, that is the Senate. Speaker Wetangula expected to write to the upper house, and of course there is also the court case that we are also tracking for you. Let's cross over. I'm told in Parliament we have some reactions. Not yet. We'll get to Parliament once we have that sort out. But moving on, Kericho Governor Eric Mutai will face the Senate plenary Monday of next week. Why? The impeachment motion question.
The decision was reached after a motion to hear the matter by way of committee failed to get a seconder. Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, communicated to the House the receipt of the resolutions of the Kericho County Assembly to remove the governor from office by impeachment, saying that the hearing will be done on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Both parties have directed to supply Senate with relevant documents by 12th of October ahead of the hearing. Well, Governor Mutai was impeached by the County Assembly of Kericho on the 2nd of October on 3 grounds, including abuse of office, gross misconduct, gross violation of the Constitution, and other laws as well.
The motion having been deemed to be withdrawn, pursuant to Standing Order 71, the proposal for a special committee has been defeated. The Senate will therefore proceed with the investigation on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech, the Governor of Kericho County, in plenary, pursuant to Section 33(3)(a) of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 81B(2). Now, Honorable Senators, at a special meeting held on Thursday, the 3rd of October 2024, the Senate Business Committee considered the provisional dates for this investigation in the event that the matter was to be investigated in plenary. In line with the schedule of activities for an impeachment hearing in plenary, I hereby give the following directions. A, the clerk to issue invitations to appear to the parties by today, Tuesday, the 8th of October 2024. The parties to file their responses within the office of the clerk of the Senate by Saturday, the 12th of October 2024 by 5 p.m. The clerk to circulate documents received from the parties, including the plenary hearing program, to all honorable senators by 5 p.m. on Sunday, the 13th of October 2024. And the Senate shall then investigate the matter in plenary on Monday, the 14th of October, and Tuesday, the 15th of October 2024. The Senate is guided accordingly. Thank you.
Of course, Speaker, Amason Kingi will be receiving a letter from the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula regarding Gachagua's ouster. We know that Gachagua put up a spirited defense despite, of course, being impeached by the numbers there, 281 who voted yes against 44 who said no. There was one abstention.
Let's now cross over to Parliament, where we have Able Team, we have Edward Kabasa, we have Kamche Menza, and we have Tilio Marco, following a close bit on the developments from that end. Let's continue to get the reactions after the impeachment of DP Gachagua.
That the Senate, with its sobriety, is going to look at the issues and interrogate the issues in a very independent way and come up with a very conclusive and very neutral judgment on the issue.
We have seen the impeachment of governors before, and even next week there is an impeachment procedure or motion that will be tabled in the Senate, that for Kericho Governor. Is this unprecedented, especially being the first deputy president to be impeached?
This is the first time that we're impeaching the deputy president, and I think looking at the way the National Assembly has behaved, we just have our hope on the Senate, because we brought down the threshold of impeaching a deputy president, and it defeats the purpose of the Constitution, or the 2010 Constitution, which was put in place in one way or the other to safeguard the position of the deputy president, so that we don't have these roadside declarations or executive orders sacking the holder of the office of the deputy president on the roadsides. The Constitution was very clear on a process that is supposed to be used to impeach the deputy president. And we hope, given that there are so many people in the Senate who are primarily lawyers and people who play a more proactive oversight role of the counties, I think they are better placed at the higher house to come up with Solomonic wisdom to handle this issue, so that we don't bring down the threshold of impeaching the deputy.
Bit of hiccup there, but nevertheless, our team is still on the ground. They'll be keeping us posted. Once we get a moment or two to go back to Parliament, we will do exactly that. But let's switch gears and move into health matters now. And the Kenya National Union of Nurses are threatening to lead Kenyans to the streets over the implementation of the Social Health Insurance Fund managed by the Social Health Authority, according to the Union Secretary General Seth Panyako.
The new insurance scheme is good, but its implementation is shrouded in grafts.
Meanwhile, the Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Deborah Baraza, has reiterated that no health facility should deny patients services during the continued rollout of the new insurance fund.
Nancy Okware has the details.
Week after the country transitioned to the Social Health Insurance Fund, a section of Kenyans continue to express frustrations in accessing critical health services. In Kakamega County, several patients, especially those seeking maternity services, were forced to pay from their pockets.
Nimeleta mgonjwa wangu hapa, amekujifungua, napata linda mama imeondolewa, sina pesa ya kulipa. sijui nitaanzia hapa, na tulikuwa tumeregister kutumia hiyo linda mama.
Hata wakati alikuwa anakuja clinic alikuwa anakuja hapa na tuliweza kuregistiwa, tukaambiwa tunaregistiwa NHIF na ile linda mama ambayo itaweza kumsaidia wakati anajifungua. Lakini wakati amekuja kujifungua tumeambiwa hiyo vitu zote hazifanyi kazi, na sasa tutahitajika kulipa shilingi 7,400 na shilingi 4. Na tumeambiwa pia kilala inaongezeka na 2,000 kila siku. So tumegwama hapa na hatuna pesa.
Their cries come as the Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General Seth Panyako has hinted at the possibility of marshalling Kenyans to the streets to protest what he has termed as corruption in the implementation of the fund.
But I want to be very clear. SHA, what was proposed to be offered to Kenyans is way superior than NHIF, but it's not being funded. So the problem in this SHIF and SHA is corruption. We cannot allow that. We can't. That one we cannot accept. It is obvious that we are going to lead Kenyans in a massive industrial action.
Meanwhile, Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa was at the Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital in Mombasa to assess the progress of services under the Social Health Fund. Here, the CS urged health facilities to ensure all patients seeking services are not turned away.
No patient should be left behind. We should not have patients going home without treatment. And so we are again encouraging facilities to keep on contracting. We've seen this great uptake here, and we are encouraging uptake in the various counties so that patients can be able to access care.
Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
Well, that report by Nancy Okware brings us to our first break. And we are
just getting started. See you on the other side.
Mapato ya jasho lako, faida ya nguvu zako, na juhudi za kila siku kuboresha maisha yako. KBC ndio ngao ya jasho lako. KBC linzi wa akiba yako. Relax, akiba yako iko salama.
KDIC, safer, stronger together.
Avieta imerahisishwa. Sasa kunatia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
She's articulate, she's charismatic, she is insightful, creative. She is our new member on the Anchors team on Prime Edition. Welcome back, you're watching the Prime Edition.
We now get back to Parliament, where our able team is getting reactions from members of Parliament after the DP was ousted by the National Assembly. 281 members of Parliament voted to oust the DP, and let's cross over and listen in.
Leadership position, the public office of that level will be able then to demonstrate high level of nationalism and respect both those higher and below them.
And he was given the responsibility of reviving the coffee and the tea sector. Nandi Hills is one of the areas that falls under that purview. Are you satisfied with what he did?
I appreciate what he tried to do. But I can tell you, even in Nandi Hills right now, we're still gripping with the issue of the bonus. In fact, there was quite a while we were not able to sell tea. So there is bigger challenge. Yes, it's true. Nandi Hills constituency, 60% of my constituency is covered by tea farms. And we're still having the same challenges as it were. So he tried, perhaps to the level best. There are so many other things that are being mentioned of his involvement. That has not been proven, and I will not be able to mention things that have not been proven. But that belabored, no worries, that is behind us now. The next one is going to come. I think that should be one of the duties that they have to be made to understand we need to try and look at the prices of the issue of the tea pricing for the people of Nandi Hills constituency to be able to benefit.
All right, so the decision of the National Assembly is being taken to the Senate. Are you able to make a prediction, perhaps what will happen? Is he going to present his case differently?
I hope he will, but I can tell you, yes, we had 281 votes that voted for yes. Had it been a secret ballot, it could be even higher. Many of those people who had to shift, to change camp almost immediately is because they are fearing the effects from the ground, from the bosses from the ground. As it's going to Senate, I believe that he will be able to defend himself. All those senators have been watching the behavior of the deputy president. They will make it out, but I'm almost certain the behavior of what you've seen today, the vote that has happened in the National Assembly, it will not be far of what is going to happen in the Senate.
So how would you rate the Deputy President out of 10?
I would rate him 4.
Why 4?
Because I believe that also there is some part that he did very well. He tried to work hard as a Deputy President, but there are also several things that I believe he had a lot of shortcomings as well that makes me believe he had to lose the 6 points.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Muchuma, you're live on KBC Channel 1. Introduce yourself to Kenya.
So Geoffrey Wandeto, Member of Parliament, Teto constituency that is in Nyeri County, and I'm one of the 44 members of Parliament who has this evening proudly voted no. Because we do not think that the grounds that were brought in the House are sufficient, to remove the person of the Deputy President. I also think that if you look at what the average Kenyan on the streets think, they do not see this as a priority. They say the same during public participation, and the country has other heavier and matters that we should be attending to. The state of the economy, some of the things that are happening within our country, some of the scandals that we are talking about, the rollout of the social health insurance, the rollout of the new university model. These are the things that we should be spending time discussing. Also, if you look at what Wananchi said during public participation, I do not see that incorporated. So what I feel is that the Deputy President has been lynched. It was a mob justice of some sort this evening, and we are hoping that when this matter goes to the Senate, because it has failed at the National Assembly, and the Senate knowing that it is a real trial chamber for this matter, we hope that they are going to look at this matter in a just way. They are going to be fair. They are going to give it the depth, and the critical look that it deserves. And we are hopeful that the Deputy President is going to get justice in the Senate, because I think, what I feel happened this evening really is unfair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Muchuma. Karibu, you are live on KBC Channel 1. Introduce yourself to Kenya.
Honorable Zamzam Chimba Muhammad, the Mombasa County MP.
One of the allegations that was leveled against the Deputy President is that he was not a unifying factor, that he promoted what many perceived to be, a section instead of the whole country as a whole. As a member of Parliament, are you convinced that the decision that you have made today will go down in history as the right one?
Actually, today I'm the happiest woman in the world, When I remember and think of 2007, 2008, post-election violence, it was one tribe against 42 tribes, and wouldn't love to go back to that place again. But I want to tell Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, you were given this opportunity by Kenyans to show, for you to unite Kenyans, It was not for you to take this opportunity just to think about one region of the country. He's burning Kenya, and I want to tell him I don't feel sorry for him because he brought this to himself. We are all Kenyans. Kikuyus are everywhere. We are married to them. They are married to us. They are everywhere in this country. But when he kept on talking about Mlima, He was leaving other Kenyans out of the national cake. And we felt that even us people from coastarians, it was very unfair to us, because when you look at Mombasa County, actually we were the number one, the best tax collectors in Kenya. And being number one would also wish to get the fair share of the national cake. Lakini Rigadi unamsikia tu anazungumza mlima, mara anatukana kina mama prostitute. How do you call someone's wife prostitute? We mke wako unamuita bishop, lakini mke wa mwenzako unamuita prostitute. Kwa hiyo mimi nataka nimwambie Rigadi, hatukuonei. Badilisha tu tabia, badilisha kauli mbovu. Hatumuonei kabisa. Asante sana.
All right. And finally, the relationship between the executive and the legislature going forward, are we expecting a smooth relationship? Because over the last couple of months there have been accusations by a section of Kenyans that the legislature is sometimes acting as an appendage of the executive.
No, us we are giving our best. Ukiangalia bunge, we are doing our best. It's not that we've been compromised by the executive, no. We are doing our mandate, but when it comes to uniting Kenya, we join our hands together. And so my promise to Kenyans is that Mama Zamzam is still Mama Zamzam, the one who fights for their rights. Ikija kitu kibaya nitamwambia rais hapana, hapa si sawa. Hata kama tuko broad-based government, lakini kitu kikija kibaya, I as Mama Zamzam will stand for Kenyans. Yeah.
Thank you. Wakili, this is KBC Channel 1. How did you vote?
I voted no. I voted against the impeachment of the Deputy President. And I voted to defend and protect our Constitution. I believe that the charges, the way they were framed, could not meet the constitutional threshold required to impeach an individual at the level of a Deputy President. And I believe that those charges, they were frivolous, they were vexatious, they were null and void. And I honestly feel, I honestly hope that the courts will be able to vindicate the Deputy President, because if I raise that issue, I raise an issue before the floor of the House, that the Deputy Speaker and the Speaker should have recused themselves from hearing this matter, because they had pronounced themselves and they had already taken sides on the impeachment of the Deputy President. And I believe that is an area that Gachagua's lawyers may take up in courts to say that those two officers, those two presiding officers, had already taken sides and therefore should have recused themselves. And I was also perturbed that some of us who wanted to contribute before the floor of the House to defend the Deputy President were not given an opportunity to do so. And that could stem from the reason that they didn't want us to contribute in defense of the Deputy President. And I feel like injustice has been committed today, and the gentleman of Rigathi Gachagua was not given fair treatment in the prosecution of the motion before the floor of the House.
All right, so the decision is going to the Senate. Let's assume that perhaps the Senate saves the Deputy President. How do they repair the relationship going forward?
First of all, the good thing with the Senate is that that is a proper trial chamber. That is where everything will happen. That is where there will be examination in chief, there will be cross-examination, and also there will be re-exam. That is the proper trial chamber where the Deputy President will be able to defend himself. And I am one of the leaders in this country calling for reconciliation between the President and the Deputy President. If you saw the DP today before the House, he was speaking with a lot of humility. I am one of the individuals who believe that the President and the Deputy President can still reconcile and move forward, because they got into power together. So I believe that they can still reconcile and drive this country forward without so many political shenanigans that you are currently witnessing.
So the decision today, or what the decision that the Senate will arrive at, will it build or break Kenya Kwanza?
Now, you see, we still have a long process to go, because if for example, the DP loses at the Senate, then he may still attempt to challenge the decision of the Senate and the entire proceedings at the courts. And the decision of the Senate may not define the future of Kenya Kwanza. I believe that the outcome of the courts will be able to define the decision of or the relationship between the president and the deputy president. But remember that if the DP loses, then it will be out of politics for a minimum of 10 years period. So it is. So we don't know whether he will resign midway. We don't know. But he said he will not resign, so he may choose to go all through to the courts, the Supreme Court, to get a decision that he thinks is fair, or he may choose to resign. So the options are up to him.
Would you advise him to resign?
If he has reason to believe that the courts will not listen to him, and that decision and the courts will rule against him, then I would advise him to resign. But if he believes that he has lawyers who are up to the task and believes that he has enough evidence to challenge and to quash the decision, which I believe as a lawyer, that he has enough grounds to challenge that decision, then absolutely he should not resign. He should pursue justice to the very end, which is the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edward Kevin Washira and Tilio Marco, as you get the mixed reactions from Parliament. Now from Parliament buildings to Broadcasting House, and we are taking another break. We'll be back with the business news.
Pata the master flare kwenye star 570 hash option ya 4 na ushindi wako tunautangaza the 6th of October. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde!
October 9th, join us as we celebrate World Post Day, live from the Sarova Stanley Hotel, starting at 8 a.m. It is not just a celebration, it's a launch. Introducing PostaPay, your unified payment solution. Send and receive money across all networks and banks through PostaPay. Make collections, disburse funds, set up your standing orders, and much more, all in one app. Download the PostaPay app today from Google Play or App Store, or dial star 336*20 hash to register. Mambo ni kujipanga chap chap na PostaPay.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. In business, over 400 micro, small and medium enterprises, SMEs and artisans are set to showcase their products and services at the upcoming 24th EAC Trade Fair in South Sudan. The Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and SMEs, Wycliffe Oparanya, stated that this fair will provide small businesses with the opportunity to expand into new markets, share innovative technologies, and strengthen regional integration.
Over the years, the MSME sector has demonstrated its potential to drive regional industrialization. To this end, the Ministry of MSME Development has established a multi-sectoral national organizing committee to lead the 24th annual EAC Trade Fair, which will be hosted in South Sudan. The committee's role include a thorough review of the MSME products to ensure they are 100% Kenyan-made and meet international market standards.
This sector is very, very important because this is a sector
that offers employment opportunities for our people. And we are also able to grow our economy together.
It will be an opportunity for us to open new market lines for not just Kenya, but for the EAC region.
The trade fair aims to connect small businesses and artisans, helping them to tap into new market opportunities while addressing technological gaps. The recent inclusion of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Somalia into the EAC bloc expands the market to 320 million people, offering MSMEs a greater platform to export products and services regionally and enhance their participation in the global value chains.
We are at a point where we should now be taking our product development to another level. We should now be focusing on the value addition, channeling out products that can position Kenya.
South Sudan relies heavily on imports, and the trade fair presents a strategic opportunity for Kenyan MSMEs to fill market gaps and capitalize on untapped potential.
The role of the government is to ensure that they create conducive environment for small business to do their business. And the government is actually engaged in making sure that finances are available.
The EAC MSME Trade Fair, to take place from October 26th to November 5th in Juba, is expected to attract 15,000 exhibitors from across the region. Weri Mujenga for Prime Edition.
Now, Kenya plans to reverse land degradation and restore soil health to at least 30% by 2034. The Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization says it will embark on an 8-month digital soil mapping exercise across 45 counties to help in the process. Calro Director Environment David Kamau says the data will be used to inform the type of fertilizer to be applied to boost crop yield to address soil degradation in the country.
The government has been implementing fertilizer subsidy programs to increase fertilizer use and boost productivity. However, the continuous use of fertilizers has not resulted in high soil fertility in the country, affecting production.
Statistics are now showing around 30 to 35% of nutrients that are actually lost, and this is affecting the small-scale farmer who is now not able to build their capacity, production capacity, by depending on the soil for production. So going forward, we are looking at encouraging, for example, the small-scale farmers to adopt conservation agriculture practices. These are practices that actually rebuild the soil.
Agronomists say soil health is critical as nutrient replenishment is necessary for sustainable increase in yields.
And so we are encouraging research institutions to work with small-scale farmers to use, for example, digital approaches to testing, for example, remote sensing, so that we're able to actually know which particular nutrient is lacking, not just blanket application of nitrogen, phosphates, and etc.
To reverse the worsening soil fertility in Kenya, the Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization is going to be rolling out an 8-month soil mapping exercise in 45 counties in a bid to restore soil health.
The digital mapping is in 45 counties, just less Nairobi and Mombasa. So it will, we've already rolled it out. We are doing the pilot phase in 2 counties, Kajiado and Kiambu, and chosen specifically for good reasons, Kiambu being an agricultural and Kajiado being a grazing rangelands and all that. And we hope that within the next 1 month, the pilot will be over and we roll out.
Fertilizer manufacturers have also been urged to exploit the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to purchase critical raw material for the production of affordable fertilizers.
We believe our member states, our technical partners, our governments will be able to make use of such opportunities so that, let's say there's a particular ingredient in Uganda, it can be used in Kenya because of the free movement, because why should we all produce the same thing?
During the Nairobi Declaration Fertilizer and Soil Health and the Soil Initiative for Africa framework, members of the Intergovernmental Agency on Development, IGAD, committed to triple domestic production and distribution of certified quality organic and inorganic fertilizers by 2034.
For us, as a country, we wish to approach it from all angles. So whether we are approaching it from the East African community that we have also an agreement with, or from IGAD member states, I think it will still be okay.
Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Members of the Tumaita tea factory in Kirinyaga County have resumed tea picking following a payment and management with the Kenya Tea Development Agency and the Tea Board of Kenya. Under the deal, farmers have been assured better returns and streamlined management of the tea factory in Kirinyaga County. Last month, tea farmers in Kirinyaga County boycotted tea picking in Tumaita area on grounds of poor pay and mismanagement of the tea factory.
Under the new deal, KTDA will submit the factory's financial record to the Tea Board of Kenya by October 9, 2024 to address concerns over farmers' second bonus payments. TBK will review the accounts and give feedbacks within 30 days, providing clarity on the matter. A planned special general meeting to discuss the payment issues has been postponed until the review is complete. Bumaita Tea Factory Chairman Engineer Richard Magu has urged farmers to stop hawking tea and instead deliver it to the factory.
Tea farmers shall immediately resume plucking of tea on 8th October. In this regard, tea hawking in the Bumaita catchment area shall cease immediately. TBK and security organs are requested to decisively deal with the matter of hawking. Any person inciting farmers not to pluck tea.
The factory, which had lost an estimated 115 million shilling during the boycott, is now set to resume full operations. This will allow farmers to start earning again, providing much-needed financial relief.
Warudi kuchuna majani yao sababu ya kwamba kuna watu wengi sana wako na maroni na hiyo maroni huwa wanalipa monthly na wakiendelea kukosa kuchuna hiyo majani itawaletea shida mwisho ya mwaka.
The government is very keen to ensure that the directors, their management agent and the tea farmers sit down and resolve any issue they may be having. We are glad today that today they have agreed that as tomorrow tea plucking will resume and the payment of the bonus that has been declared will continue as scheduled.
The tea subsector in Kenya plays a crucial role in the local economy, providing employment and supporting thousands of families. The ongoing discussion facilitated by TBK are expected to bring lasting solutions to the payment issue while allowing farmers to continue delivering their tea uninterrupted.
And that is all we had in business. Tom, what do we have in sports?
Thank you, Muchuma. We've got cycling, we've got athletics, we've got football. And I'm also holding down the fort for the sports anchor, so let's get straight into it. Nairobi City Stars Chief Executive Officer Patrick Korir has been appointed as the interim Chief Executive Officer of Football Kenya Federation following the resignation of Barry Otieno.
Barry Otieno stepped down officially today as the CEO of Football Kenya Federation, saying he wanted to pursue other opportunities. He joined FKF as a communications manager from 2016 to 2017 before he became the head of communications and marketing from 2017 to 2019. He was later appointed the chief executive officer in 2019 after Robert Mudhomi stepped down from the position due to a controversial saga involving a player transfer. Barry has been working closely with FKF President Nick Mwendwa, and his resignation comes in the wake of the FKF national elections scheduled on the 7th of December this year, where several candidates have expressed their interest in the top seat, the FKF presidency.
While acknowledging his resignation, Football Kenya Federation expressed their gratitude to Barry for his dedicated service, adding that they expected him to ensure a smooth and seamless transition of leadership so that ongoing activities and projects are not affected in the remaining period. Patrick Korir, who takes over from Barry, has served the sport in various capacities as a journalist, analyst, coordinator, and CEO of Nairobi City Stars.
Now, the powerlift item, Selina Adikinyi Odhiambo won a bronze medal for Kenya in the under 67.5 kilogram during the 2024 International Blind Sports Association Powerlifting World Championship in Astana, Kazakhstan. Adikinyi lifted 40 kilograms in the press, 70 kilograms in the squats, and 110 in the deadlift for a total of 220 kilograms. The gold was won by Valentia Haihorieva of Ukraine with a total of 340 as Turkey's Kalustan Ozdemir took over the silver with a total of 250 kilograms. The championship will come to an end this weekend. Now, a total of 40 security officers are attending a 3-day security and stadium safety workshop that's been organized by the Confederation of African Football, CAF, in Nairobi, Kenya. The training is intended at promoting safety in the stadium during both local as well as international matches.
With Kenya set to host the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations Championship CHAN with Uganda and Tanzania, CAF has moved in to build the capacity of senior security officers in line with CAF safety regulations.
We intend to achieve security in the matches. We intend to achieve a capacity to go and educate other spectators when they come to the field. We intend to make our games accessible peacefully and enjoyable in a safe environment. So after achieving that, there will be more revenue income for our clubs.
The training has brought together stewards and security officers from Premier League clubs and the private security personnel who will benefit more as they will be better equipped to handle matches.
This will be important since they are now able to have a clear security operational plan in regard to their matches. And also going to the future, we want to create an environment whereby we can have both our children, our women, undocumented workers, other vulnerable groups, other spectators whom we regard as our clients, come watch matches in safe and secure environment.
First of all, this one will be a big step for the club SSO because they are going to learn about security, how it's supposed to be done, going to the higher levels. They've been doing it, but now we have a nice workshop that have been arranged by the Federation and the CAF, and we say thank you for it because we are going to learn from it, and from there we can be able to take all the notes back to our clubs and help in building the football.
The training, which will come to a close on Thursday, is being led by CAF safety and security trainers Eswatini's Kolile Nkotula and Uganda's Dixon Okello. Bernard Okumu, Prime Edition.
Now, the CAC Africa Road Cycling Championship will take off tomorrow in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu, and will also involve Elgeyo Marakwet and Nandi counties. The elite men and women will be in action in the individual time trial, including the under-23 men and women and junior men. The individual time trial will be followed by the team time trials mixed relay, both for men and women, on Thursday, before the under-23 men and junior women take part in the individual road race on Friday. The elite women and junior men and women races will be on Saturday. The championship will come to an end on Sunday with the elite men individual. A disturbing one now. The Kenya Athletics fraternity is mourning the sad demise of former world under-20 800-meter champion Kipyegon Bet, who died from kidney and liver failure while receiving treatment in a hospital. That's according to his family. The 26-year-old athlete won a gold medal in the 800-meter race during the 2016 World Under-20 Championships in Poland in a duo sweep with Willy Tarbey after taking silver in the 2015 World Youth Championships held in Cali, Colombia, where Tarbey emerged victorious. The late Kipyegon Bet also participated in the Diamond League meet in 2017 in Shanghai, where he won the 800 meter, the World Athletic Championships in London, where he won bronze, and the World Relays in Nassau, where he won silver in the 4x800 meter relay with Alfred Kipketer, Timothy Kiptum, and Ferguson Rotich. He was later banned in 2018 for 4 years for testing positive for performance enhancing substance, or EPO, before he attempted a comeback. May all rest in peace.
A quick recap. Members of Parliament have tonight impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua in a historic move.
Well, that's right. And how did the numbers look like? 281 voting yes, 44 voting no. There was one abstention. And of course, the ayes had it. And that meant that the DP stands impeached. What will happen later on at the Senate? We will be tracking that story for you. What does it mean if the Senate upholds the National Assembly's verdict? Well, that's all we had time for. I want to thank you on behalf of the entire team, including our sign language interpreter,
Susan Thuku,
and the entire Prime Edition team in the back end. Always doing a good job. My name is Mboya, and
I am Muchuma. Have a good night.
Good night from Nairobi, Kenya. Bye-bye.